All right, let's introduce third member of our broadcast team. Send it to Jason Thomas with a Fly Racing pre-race report.
2021 at Washougal proved to be a pivotal race in the chase between Jett Lawrence and Justin Cooper for the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship. Now, this year, Jett Lawrence has a commanding lead, but last year, Justin Cooper came in really on his way to a championship and had a late race crash here, which he suffered a nagging injury, really never recovered from until Hangtown. With Jett Lawrence having a big lead here today, will today prove to be a pivotal race, or will he extend that points lead, maybe out of the grips of Hunter Lawrence moving forward?
Yeah, thanks, JT. So Justin Cooper has been good this year, but not quite on his 2021 form. He's just looking for his first win of the year now, whereas last year he was coming in trying to close in on a championship, but then he crashed and actually broke his thumb, and that was obviously costly in the points. Let's get the keys to the Moto here for 2020.
Middle of the track.
Listen to the crowd as Jett already looking for running room against his brother Hunter. There's Hammaker and Justin Cooper battling it out with Pierce Brown next. So Cooper, a decent start. But how about this? Shimoda not only the whole shot, but already a couple of bike lengths.
Yeah, I think with Joe's riding style, how well he's been riding the last few races, this could be a really good moto for him. With this track the way it is, it's a little bit slippery, like we've all been saying over and over. But his riding style is really going to suit him today, I believe.
Yeah, you talk about that he's not a guy that goes over the limit, goes over the edge. That helps on this track?
Yeah, I think so. You got to ride this track with some finesse, but you got to try to get every bit of speed and traction out of it if you can. So, and they got Hunter pulling up. Oh, lost a foot there. Yeah, going outside, but he's putting pressure on Joe right now.
Look, he's on the inside, RV, trying to make the move already. Crisscrossing lines as we head to the very famous whoop section near the finish line. Shimoda holding off Hunter. One lap complete, and we got a heck of a race on our hands.
Yeah, it's really close. Coming down in here, this little bit, a couple different line choices here from Hunter on the outside, setting up on the inside. Joe just railing the outside.
Yeah, they're crisscrossing again, and then they got Jett right there. Hammaker, Cooper, no change in the order.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing right now, Joe's on, he's riding a lot of outsides right now, and we'll see if those outsides end up blowing out. They'll have to transition to the insides, and we'll see who can do that sooner than later.
Okay, we'll see how long those lines last. They're going to head toward the mechanics area here and go back up Horsepower Hill after this next corner. Now, Shimoda, the starts have been a weakness his entire pro career. If he has them solved, like it looks like he might, this could change everything. He could win today.
Yeah, very much. Like I said, it's he's been riding really well, and from looking at him right now, he's got the speed. He's able to pulled back away from Hunter. Hunter was able to close in that first lap, and now it looks like it's got another, what's he have, about a second on Hunter, so riding really well.
All right, Joe, the young rider out of Japan, actually got on this team as a late entry. I think they added a fifth bike to the team last year, and he really impressed Nice little line there.
Yeah, much different lines there. Joe was able to cut back really hard to the right and then go up the inside of that hill, and you've seen Hunter go a little bit wide and have to go wide. So it's just multiple different line options here.
Do more lines open up as the race goes on, or do they tend to find the good line and funnel together?
To be honest, at Washougal, you're trying to stay out of the roost because it's like bullets when it hits you. It really is. It hurts. And some of these guys are wearing chest protectors, some don't. But it's really trying to avoid getting pelted by the roost.
So you will sometimes take what might not be the best line.
Just to get out of it, keep your goggles clean. You only have so many tear-offs. You have to manage the bike, manage the race, manage your goggles. So there is some science to it.
So we'll see if these riders can break away. They have not actually. Hammaker hanging tough in fourth. These are the three that have won the motos. They're the top three in the series standings. Now it looks like Jett starting to close a little bit on Hunter as we go back toward the whoops. Hunter a little bit closer to the line that Shimoda used this time.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if that inside comes into play later in the moto.
Hammaker putting some pressure on Jett here for third. Impressive. So we've got two Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki's sandwiching the Honda HRC teammates.
Looks like Hunter's starting to put in a little bit of pressure on Joe here. Let's see if he can make the move quick and get a break.
Tight inside line there from Hunter, and it might work. Can he hold it all the way around in this sweeping left-hander? Joe's able to beat him to the spot, hold him off. And they're edging away a little bit from Jett right now, who's got his hands full with Hammaker.
Yeah, these two up front are actually riding really well right now, pulling away from Jett, which is a little surprising.
Is it a little easier for Hunter now to go on the attack without having Jett right on him?
For sure, with not having to worry about having his brother behind him, or any rider for that matter behind him, and watching his insides. He's able to, take different lines, get out of Joe's roost, and not have to worry about somebody sticking a wheel in underneath of him.
It's horsepower hill to the top, now to the bottom. Some rollers back here, and they'll jump back into view of the fans. Every time you think Hunter has something dialed, there's different line choices, and it works at this time in Shimoda's favor.
Yeah, and Joe just keeps pulling out. It's like a yo-yo right now, cat and mouse.
The fans loving this, anticipating. You know it's going to get tight at some point. And certainly don't count out the third place rider here, Jett Lawrence, your series points leader either. Just deal with some brief pressure from Hammaker. Where is Cooper? They are pulling away just a bit from Cooper, who's in fifth. Then it was Brown. And Derek Kelly, we mentioned the privateer, the AEO Power Sports machine, doing it again. Got the KTM at seventh. Mumford Dillard Schwartz, back from an arm injury, is ninth. And RJ Hampshire 10th on the Rockstar Husqvarna. Back to the back. These floater jumps here.
Yeah, I think
we're going to send it down to the mechanics area. Yep, send it down to Jason Thomas.
So I'm down here with Johnny O'Mara. Now, Hunter Lawrence has had a rough couple of weeks. We know that. He's lost some points to his brother, Jett. I just was curious, what's the talk during the week trying to get Hunter's mind right and back into this championship fight so he can make a run down the stretch here?
It's nothing really than getting him a little bit more comfortable on the bike. Kind of lost sight of that a little bit, made a couple of adjustments maybe in the wrong direction. And we paid the price where maybe it hurt us with Moto. So, the team's strong around him, and we just rallied and got him really comfortable this week. So looking good so far.
Yeah, both of these guys have a multi-time champion in their corner, so it should be a fun race to the finish here.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. Johnny O won this championship back in the 1980s for Team Honda, working with both brothers. And they do say, just because Jett's a little taller than Hunter, they cannot run the exact same bike setup. So what works for one might not work for the other.
No, and that's like just having a team, like Mitch, for example, having four riders, Honda having Jett and Hunter being brothers, similar riding styles. You're not going to run everything exactly the same. Somebody's going to want a little bit different shock or fork, or I want my bike to do this, or Jett wants his to do that. So they're never going to be exactly the same.
Hunter, a little attack on Shimoda, as he usually does right before that mechanics area. Then Shimoda edging away as they get toward Horsepower Hill again.
Yeah, Hunter's got like the front part of the track. Seems like he's got something figured out, able to close in on Joe, and then Joe's able to pull away from Hunter on the back side of the track.
And they jump back down.
And I see the sun peeking through now, so now the shadows are going to come into play. The more the sun comes out, the shadows are really going to play a factor with these guys' eyes, especially in Moto 2. Not to mention it's going to dry the track out, so they're going to have to water it. So there's going to be a lot of factors that come into play here as this Moto goes on into Moto 2s.
Are you surprised a little bit, Ryan? They've edged away from Jett right now. Is that surprising? Or is it too early to say that?
Yeah, it's early. You know,
okay.
It's hard. We always talk about Jett being young, but he's actually very mature rider for his age. You know, right now I couldn't tell you if he's kind of sitting back watching,
yep.
Letting the race come to him, or if these guys are just that much better than him right now. If I had to guess, I would say he's kind of waiting. It's a waiting game for him right now.
Just close enough to see the leaders, Hunter and Shimoda, as we go through. Only 9 laps into this moto, so there is a long way to go. I got to give credit to Hammaker. He's still keeping this group in sight. That is impressive for the rookie who has not been to this track before. Hammaker has been impressive this year. Send it back down to JT with more on Jett Lawrence.
You know, you guys were discussing whether Jett was kind of waiting or if this was just the most pace that he could muster. And really, if you look through the season, he's
and Jett in third. So it might be a private duel, at least for now, between Hunter Lawrence and Shimoda. Hammaker still hanging tough. There's Jett.
Yeah, I think what we're going to see here is as I'm watching, the track isn't very rough. What we're going to see is the square edge start to come out. Right now, being the track's not very rough, everybody can kind of go the speed they want to go. So as the traction goes away, as the track gets rougher, I think that's when you really see the separation.
And no change up front. Looked like Hunter was making a run. Shimoda's got him held. So it's still about a second. And Hammaker still doing a good job there in fourth, keeping Jett at least in sight. But look at the distance. They've pulled about 4 seconds on Justin Cooper.
Yeah, they definitely have started to walk away from Justin.
Not what we expected. Fast in qualifying. He's always quick in qualifying. But you usually expect a little bit more in the motos. Looks like Hunter's about as close as he has been through this section.
Yeah, you know what? He's starting to inside lines, and I think that's shortening the track, and maybe some of those lines are a little bit smoother.
There's the move right there. Use the insides and set up the outside, and just like that to the lead.
Great pass by Hunter. Jett going up the inside into the whoops.
Oh, Shimoda.
Pushed him off the track.
How's that going to turn out? So Hunter maintains the lead. Was no room there, so he goes off the track, holds on. I think the argument there from Honda would be he led going in and he led going out. He didn't gain.
Yeah, I think he jumped back on the track right away. If I'm reffing this, I would say that was okay.
Okay, so now the question is Hunter going to be able to sprint away from Shimoda and the rest of the field right now? That's a quick strike. That
was a quick move, and now Jett has to make a quick move. He's got to bridge the gap to Joe and then make the pass, which is bridging the gap is going to be the easy part. Now making the pass is going to be the hard part because it is one-lined.
All right, if there is strategy at play for Jett, it's going to change in a hurry because Hunter Lawrence is taking the lead, and here's how he did it.
Yeah, just going to the outside there. Joe's been going to the inside, but the low line on the outside there really kept Hunter a bit lower and was able to get him up next to him, which set him up on the inside coming to that controlled turn. There he goes up. Joe coming up, just pushing him wide, taking the line away, but Hunter was able to just squeak back on the track as soon as possible and hold that line and hold the lead.
So now we're going to watch the gap. Bind the gap, as they would say in the UK, and look, he is trying to sprint away from Shimoda. Shimoda's got to keep him in sight, and if Jett's going to go with him, he's got to do it now, because you know Hunter's going to be throwing some heat up front now that he has clear air.
Joe made a good regroup right after that. He was able to figure himself back out, get his mind right, and he's actually, I think, closed back up in since he had gotten past.
Pretty interesting to see Shimoda get the good start again. He got a good start second moto last week. Instead, he used starting blocks for the first time. Those are metal platforms under his boots. They asked him, had you ever practiced that? And he said no. But Mitch Payton, team owner, said, do something different. So let's try a block. So that's what they did. And you know they're going to stick with that now.
Clearly, yes, he's had some really good starts now that he's using those starting blocks, and not sure exactly why, what the difference is. Is he more comfortable with those? But it's really good now. Hunter's able to ride away. Jett's closing in.
Yep.
You know, if Joe could stick with Hunter a little bit longer, he might be able to see his lines, learn something from him, figure out where he's going slower. But right now he's getting a little detached from him, and he's got pressure from Jett now.
So a Beta motorcycle shot through these corners here. Some very famous sections where we've seen a lot of passing after the finish line. Jett is starting to close in on Joe. So we have a battle for second as Hunter tries to get away.
Yeah, Joe's just riding a lot of these outsides, and I think it worked those first few laps. I know we're, you know, they're great those first few laps, but now if you start watching, Jett's taking more of the insides. He's able to shorten the track, close up and up on him, and he's not also in the same line. So when he does bridge that gap, he'll be able to make a pounce right on him and make a pass.
That's what Hunter did. As soon as he got there,
yep,
he had the opening. So
and
let's
you have to make
do
quick
it.
work. If you're getting stuck behind these guys, Hunter's just going to end up riding away from these guys, and then Jett's going to have to bridge that gap once he does pass Joe.
It is starting to build to a concerning level of lead. 3 seconds between Hunter Lawrence and Shimoda, and almost 4 seconds back to Jett here in third. So this is a critical juncture. If Shimoda or Jett are going to challenge Hunter Lawrence, they've got to go. He is beginning to edge away.
Jett's got to be, you know, smart about this. He has a decent size points lead right now. Obviously, this is motocross. Anything can happen, from bike issues to tip overs, like we've already seen with Jett.
Yep.
But right now, he's just playing it smart. You know, like he's riding in third. He's got that points lead on his brother. So it's just being consistent and managing the motorcycle right now. We're coming down to the home stretch of the series. So, you know, having a big issue would be catastrophic right now.
Send it back down to Jason Thomas.
You know, these guys are so perceptive mid-race, and you can see Hunter put in the best lap of the race the last lap, and you see Jett responding with some intensity here, because every action has a reaction from the other rider. So Jett can obviously see Hunter trying to disappear, and it's just a yo-yo effect between these two, and nobody wants to let the other guy get out of sight.
You know, Hunter explained it last week, the brothers. He said it's like the movie Jurassic Park, where the Velociraptor learns with each battle. He's like, when I do something, Jett learns from that. Then I do something, Jett learns from that. Then I learn from him, he learns from me. And they just keep getting closer and closer. They cannot pull away from each other. We're halfway through this moto. 15 minutes down, 15 minutes to go. You can save 15% or more on your motorcycle insurance with a quick 15-minute phone call to Geico. Right now, Joe Shimoda needs a policy because he has Jett Lawrence all over him trying to get by, as Hunter is looking to make a breakaway. Has to deal with some lap traffic now for the first time in this moto.
Yeah, Hunter's riding really well right now. Riding the motorcycle well. He's got good lines. Like I talked earlier, they both ride the motorcycle so well. We're coming into the braking bumps, getting off the brakes early so the bike isn't bound up. And it doesn't make you as physically tired, and you're able to go faster.
Back to the top of Horsepower Hill. Jett trying to get Joe. Good friends off the track. Big battle on it. Jett's using the inside. Isn't enough. Shimoda's able to beat him to it. Nice try by Jett on the inside. Shimoda rebounds to the outside. Now Jett's getting creative. He's all over this track looking for an opening. Inside, outside. Side by side down the hill. Into the S-turns. How will Jett play it? The outside doesn't come together yet. Joe holds him off.
Yeah, it gets one line down into those S-turns, so you kind of you want to make the pass, but really you should be following through there just so you don't lose any ground and make the pass where you know you can.
High speed up here, a little bit of sand on this landing. Then we'll hit these floater jumps at the top. And as they begin to battle, Hunter brings the lead back over 3 seconds. And they're going to jump downhill. New section of the track after this. They've revised this section here.
Yeah, a little new, like a little horseshoe section, chicane in here. What's really impressive is Joe right now being able to fend off Jett.
Yep.
He's tried a couple times to make the pass. They're yo-yoing a little bit right now. Joe's able to pull away a little bit from Jett right now. So very impressive ride.
Oh, and the lap traffic. Oh, missed timing there of the whoops. 12 minutes and 2 laps to go in this one. They've pulled away from Hammaker. You can tell Jett has turned it up. Turned up the jets, I guess I could say, to try to get Joe. They pulled away a little bit from 4th place Hammaker. but he cannot figure out a way around, and now there's lap traffic all over the place.
Which may open up an opportunity for a mistake from Joe and make it easy for Jett to get by.
Back to Hunter Lawrence, who led the majority of Moto 1 last week in Minnesota. Then made a mistake. Jett got him. He got Jett back. Then he made a bad choice in lines and lap traffic, and Jett was able to make the decisive pass. This time Hunter wants to finish it off. Down to the inside again, just like they were 1 lap ago. Jett attacking Joe, side by side. This is Horsepower Hill. Actually, Joe's got a few more bike lengths to the good than he did 1 lap ago. Here they were completely side by side last time. So yeah, Joe's fighting them off.
Yeah, Joe's got an outside line that comes up before Horsepower Hill, which, yes, it's a wider turn, but he's able to get a little more run up the hill and speed.
Back down into these S turns, and Jett does choose to follow. Entered on the outside, but followed him in.
Yeah, that now look at like lap before he lost half a second there. Now he's still on him. He's got an opportunity to make a pass where the track is a bit wider and faster, and maybe where he's a little bit better.
Okay, let's see. Does he have a spot picked out? Huge leap into the sand by Shimoda.
If he's close coming up into this new section where Hunter ended up passing Joe, I could see that happening again.
Yeah, if you're Joe, can you enter there on the outside like Hunter used, or is that too risky if you're the lead rider to enter on the outside?
I mean, we're always taught to protect our inside,
yeah.
But
he's going to do it.
Yep.
He goes to the outside. That was risky. I guess he remembered he got past there.
Exactly, yeah. So it's, you're supposed to protect the inside, but obviously he ended up getting passed on the outside. So, just being smart and being creative with lines.
Is that on purpose what Joe is doing here in the whoops, or is he mistiming that?
I think there's a really deep hole on
Okay.
that last triple out and where they're landing, and it's you can't set the motorcycle up for it per se just for that deep spot. So they're probably bottoming the forks there.
Takes a lot to do it with these factory race bikes. That must be a pretty big hit as they negotiate barely the lap traffic here. And just relentless pressure being applied on Joe Shimoda, but hanging tough.
And now they're only down to 1.9 seconds. They're actually catching Hunter.
So now I want to see. Yeah, they're doing their best work. Shimoda's best lap 2:14.8. He just ran a 2:14.9. But it was Hunter who went back to a 2:15.5. So Hunter had a bad lap, and this is their chance to get back in it.
Yeah, maybe a mistake by Hunter, but pretty soon we're going to have a 3-way battle.
That would be heartbreaking if Hunter has another first moto that he appears to have control of, only for Jett to get back in it. That's exactly what happened last week. So we will see here the next couple of laps how this plays out, setting us up for the stretch drive. We have seen some great racing this year. I mean, Jett has won all but one race overall, but the action has been this close every week.
Yes, it has. It's been phenomenal watching. As a fan, I mean, look at the crowd we have here at Washougal.
Yeah.
It's a packed house, perfect weather. Everybody's out to short sleeve shirts and shorts, and they're not hot. So as for riding conditions for these guys, couldn't ask for anything better.
That might be part of the reason the racing has been so good as well. There's no worry about fitness, endurance holding back. These guys are able to go to the wall every time. It's about, what, 70 degrees today?
Yes, yeah, it's nice and cool out. That's a big factor is when you get heat. When you see those numbers going up, above 90, the humidity is really high. That really takes a toll on your body.
And Joe Shimoda still using the outside in the entrance to that right-hander, holding Jett Lawrence at bay. But yeah, they have absolutely closed up on Hunter. They've got him back in sight now, and still 8 minutes and 2 laps, so plenty of time left in this moto. Any one of these three could win it still. Another 2:15 from Hunter Lawrence. His best was a 2:14.2. He just ran a 2:15.6. So not quite on the pace that he had earlier in this one. And that has allowed Shimoda to claw his way back into it. And it's really fun to have these three battling. They were teammates when they were young on the old Geico Honda team, which is no longer here. But they really got to know each other well, and they are a hilarious trio when you get them on the podium or in the press conferences. It's pretty impressive how hard they've been battling, that they're this friendly off the track.
Yeah, you know, they have a good call it working relationship.
Yeah.
All three of them. So it's really cool to see that they're able to race really hard on the track and also be friends off the track, which is really hard to do when you're the top three guys in one class.
Well, we were talking about this midweek. We keep thinking tensions are going to rise with championship fight between the Lawrence brothers, but I've seen you go through it. You battled Ben Townley all year as teammates, and we kept waiting, and it never really turned into anything bad off the track.
Yeah, you know, and I think a lot of that was Mitch's doing, keeping everything really cool, and we would race really hard off.
Oh, nice
coming
try
up
by
the
Jett.
inside.
Yep, tried it, but it's possible.
It is possible. And they're Dazzy, their dad, you know, I know him a little bit. Awesome dude. He would whip them into shape if they had any issues, I believe.
Okay, so it's not going to get disrespectful between these three, but on the track, you can see Jett is pouring it on. Even tried a pass attempt in an area you don't always see passes in those S-turns. Look at this. They are right there with Hunter Lawrence now. Three-rider battle for the lead at Washougal. Great stuff.
Yeah, it's tough. Joe's sandwiched in the middle.
Yep.
Hunter's going to have to protect his insides. And
Jett had an opening. No, that inside just does not work.
Yeah, they end up coming off. They have a high line on the inside there, so you might have a shorter distance, but they end up catching more air, and it evens itself out.
Through the whoops. Another lap clicks off. Let's see the times. Almost identical. 2:15 flats for first
Jett
and
up the
second.
inside.
Just a little too rough to get it stopped down there.
Yeah, you pinch that turn off when you run down the inside there. So if you're going to make a pass there, you have to be right on the dude that's right in front of you leaving the whoops.
So Jett Lawrence, fastest rider on track, only one with a 2:14 lap time last time around. And he can now see not only Shimoda, but his brother Hunter. So he's not out of it to win this moto. Again, it would be heartbreaking if he pulls it out late like he did last week. If he does it 2 weeks in a row. Oh, it is on right now. All three riders in the same section of the track. Shimoda's a little wide. Almost came together with Jett. Now, Jett's been up the left side of Horsepower Hill several times. Is he close enough to make it work? Shimoda cuts the line off.
Takes the inside away from him. I want to see if the bottom of the S-turns here, the bottom of the downhill, if Hunter or Jett's been taking a middle line, I wonder if it's going to pan out for him.
Yeah, he got close last time.
Yep.
There'll be another S-turn coming up. Oh, Jett side by side down the hill. Here it comes. Can he beat him to the spot? Not quite. Now watch his right-hander. Joe covered it. Good job by Joe, kind of learning.
Yeah,
Eyes
really,
in the back of his head.
Yeah, really tough section there. There's multiple lines, and sometimes there you don't know which is faster.
But we have seen a couple of attempts by Jett, and then Joe has responded and changed the line. Just with instinct there, so he did it. Held him off in that section. Let's see if Jett has another area. Oh, Jett absolutely sent it to that left-hander, but then there was a lap rider in the way. Couldn't really use any of that speed.
Nope.
Jett still trying that inside. Making that Honda as low as he can get it over that jump. Look at this, Shimoda's back on the rear wheel of Hunter.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's closing in. See if he can make a pass here soon. Because if he could get past Hunter, then the brothers have to duel it out.
Yeah, and that could be Joe's chance to break away. This is phenomenal racing as advertised. This is what the people here in Washington State have been watching on TV all year. And the race comes to their town, and these three are going at it again. Fantastic action.
Yeah, they're pushing the limits right now, all three of these guys. And this is not an easy track to push that limit. It's an uncomfortable place to try to ride fast. You know, the ruts aren't always awesome. It's a little bit slippery. The roost hurts, so you're always searching for a different line or to get out of the roost. So this is exciting.
Joe Shimoda has caught the leader, Hunter Lawrence. They're headed uphill. And he has to deal with Jett Lawrence as well. It's exactly the way you want it. Three riders. They've been the top three in the series. And they are an equal match for each other today. You just wonder which direction is this going to go. Everybody going wide at the base.
With 2 minutes and 25 seconds left, you know, I think Hunter's in a really good position right now.
It's getting a little late
Well, I think it seems like it's stabilized a little bit. Jett's been able to run up on Joe, but Joe always capitalizes and is able to fend Jett off. Man, I get their names always mixed up.
We got Jett and Joe, we got
Yes.
2 Lawrences. It's not easy. I'll cut you a little slack on this as we head back to the top of this facility. The triple and then the sand jump. Joe has something there. He's able to just get a few bike lengths on Jett every time before we get to this jump. And then Jett just phenomenal through this corner. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, his mid-corner speed is phenomenal. It's really fast.
Can he make this inside work?
We have lappers coming up in front of us.
Gonna try the inside again in this right-hander. Just nothing you can make happen there. Oh man, there are lappers everywhere. As you mentioned, Jett down to the inside, gonna stand him up.
Pulled the same move he pulled on Hunter.
How about that? So Jett Lawrence just drove to the inside, stopped, got in front of Shimoda. No contact, not a dirty move, but it gets the job done.
Let's see if Shimoda can regroup and put another charge in and run it up on Jett.
Now the big beneficiary there was Hunter Lawrence, because that was not the fast line by Hunter. That was, by Jett. It's just what he needed to do to make the pass.
Yeah,
was allowed Hunter to pull away.
Yes, was able to open it back up to 2.8.
All right, here it is, folks. We're going to be 2 laps to go. Been watching this battle the whole time. We got to get 1 break in. We're going to see if Jett.
Their eyes at us. Got some.
Hey, where are you going? Hey. That's the giveaway bike. Hey, come on.
Hey, we're supposed to put that back in the shop.
Get off that
They're
thing.
supposed to be riding that thing.
That's the giveaway bike. Come on. Move, man.
Enter to win at motorsport.com/win.
You have just won 3 championships in a row.
Man, Supercross is giving me everything. It's just had such a blast doing it.
And you get it all the way around here.
This past season, it's like I had 7 surgeries in 9 months. I don't want to be put under again.
I don't see the end in sight because, like, what else am I going to do?
That run out, you know.
Unleashed with Dingo and Dale, fueled by Monster Energy.
New CRF 250R. Lighter, faster, stronger. Ready to help you find your edge.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance. Motosport.com. Make your next ride your best ride. And by Monster Energy. Unleash the beast.
It is on right now. Hunter Lawrence against Jett. Hunter leading the way just like he was a week ago. Jett was able to get by him. 2 to go here at Washougal.
Jett's going to have to make a run here really soon because Hunter is riding well and we're closing down to with a lap to go. Oh, yeah, a lap and a half to go.
Yep. ETS Racing Fuels giving you the shot here as we head up Horsepower Hill. Gap is stabilized. It was 1.8 when Jett got to second. It has stayed there. Last time around, Jett a little bit quicker now to close it back in. So it actually had stayed and pulled back out. Does Jett have another run in him?
Yeah, Hunter's just riding really well right now. His line selection's really good. The way he's riding the motorcycle, calm, cool, collected. Little sideways off the downhill there. It's really, that section's a little technical. You come in there so fast and you try to get on the brakes, but then you have to let them off before you get into the bumps because you don't want to ride off that and hang the rear wheel off of it and end up, being nose heavy coming off of it. So it's when the shadows come into play there, it's even worse in late motos because the braking bumps come all the way to the edge of that drop off.
So you do have to brake a little bit at the top.
Yeah,
you can't
so
just hammer.
You brake and then you let off the brake so the bike's free when it jumps
Yes.
off of it. So you don't end up, teeter-toeing off of it and dropping the front end in the wrong spot.
But you cannot just go wide open. You have to slow down.
You will end up in the crowd.
You can go that far.
I mean, you will go to flat, yes.
I see. Hey, Hunter has done a phenomenal job here. He's actually stretched it back out.
Yep, 2.7 seconds. We've got a couple lap riders in front of us right now, in front of Hunter. But I think he's in control. White flag is out.
Just like Moto 1 a week ago, it's these three in the top three. This will be the 5th Moto this year that would be both Lawrence's and Shimoda on the podium together. The difference is the order. Jett was able to get to Hunter last time out. This time, Hunter's trying to prevent it from happening, and honestly, every time we check the stopwatch, Hunter's pulling away further and further. 3 seconds now. This could be it.
I think Jett's probably sitting back, knowing that this track is very hard to pass on. He's going to settle for second and try to regroup, come back out and get that second Moto win for the overall.
But a little bit of momentum back with Hunter Lawrence if he can do this. And the big one-on-one showdowns we have seen, we had a second Moto battle at High Point and a first Moto battle last week. They both ended up going to Jett. But unless something changes in a hurry here, Hunter will have the edge this time. Now, Jett has admitted this is his least favorite track on the circuit. He's ridden well, but not as well as Hunter, who's marching away here in the last lap. This is big for the 96, not giving up on it.
Anything can happen. As we've already seen, Jett had a motor issue earlier in the season. Was down 26 points, right up like snap of the fingers, and Hunter was in the lead, and now it's flip-flopped again. So Hunter's just got to keep plugging away and doing the things he can do, like he's doing right now. He's riding phenomenal. He's got about a quarter of a lap left before he rounds out this first Moto for the win.
And the fans saluting this effort. Hunter Lawrence had to overcome Joe Shimoda, deal with pressure from Shimoda for most of it. Down the stretch, we thought Jett would put in a run. Hunter was able to respond. He just ran a 2:15.1 last time around, 2:16.5 for Jett. So he was a second and a half quicker, leading to the white flag, and that makes all the difference. He's come close to beating his brother in a one-on-one fight several times this year. But this time he's going to get it done all the way to the line. Good bounce back.
Yeah, it's great going into second Moto with the upper hand. Rode phenomenal. Now it's the ball's in his court. Now
Hunter Lawrence, the first Moto win over Jett. There is Shimoda, who led some laps. Will end up third, down 8.2 seconds. And Hunter Lawrence has it.
Yeah, Shimoda didn't look too excited pulling off the track there. He's shaking his head. He probably knew that he had that race, but ended up, not working out for him.
7th career Moto win for Hunter Lawrence and 3rd Moto win of the season. Kind of surprising to see Cooper this far back. Your fast qualifier, 37 seconds down at the line. He did get Hamaker, though. Hamaker spent a lot of this Moto in 4th. He will end up 5th as he gets the checker flag within his sights. And Hunter Lawrence getting to celebrate. That is a big one here at Washougal, not giving up on the pursuit of his younger brother Jett. And gets the points, by the way, back within a Moto. He's down 27 coming in. So move it to 24. It's still a long way to go in this championship. The Lawrence brothers are 1-2 again. That's how they started this season. Other riders have taken their swings at it. No one has been able to take the momentum away from them. It has been as dominant as we have ever seen two brothers in this championship, and really to see two teammates be this good. Pretty impressive what they've engineered over there, the Lawrence family, and with Team Honda. Stay with us from Washougal. We'll talk to Hunter about a big Moto win.
Rated E for everyone.
Coming into this year, January, I break my pelvis the week of Oakland. The doctor's like, dude, don't walk on it for a month. I remember calling my parents, I'm like, well, I'm done. Like, and it's contract year. I was like, so I just wasted all this. I don't really see a sport that's like it, to be honest with you.
At Beta, the best just got better. With the new 2022 Beta RR models, delivering an unmatched, refined riding experience. And the new 2022 Cross Trainer, the #1 selling entry-level enduro on the market. Beta produces the most rideable motorcycles in the world. Check one out at a Beta dealer near you.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. With a nationwide network of parts and care, Napa helps you get up and go. Honda, celebrating 50 years of off-road dominance. And by Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive.
Big crowds all year this year, and amongst the crowd, wow, making a quick trip. Colby Raha just won gold at X Games in the Moto X quarter pipe, and he's up here hanging out.
That's right, 49 feet.
Jeez. Let's get to the Lucas Oil race recap. This first 250 Moto. Joe Shimoda, the whole shot in the Kawasaki. 250 Moto. Joe Shimoda, the whole shot in the Kawasaki. Hunter Lawrence, a nice move here.
Yeah, just out around the outside, was able to control the inside on this next turn, and it was Hunter from all the way out.
And then Joe tried to get it back on the inside before the whoops. Hunter goes off the track, but maintains the lead. I think they'll say that's okay. And then from there, it was Jett's turn to put some pressure. Jett Lawrence on Shimoda. Here's the pass.
Put the same move on that he did to his brother.
Just stood him up. Down to the inside. So that puts Jett into second, but not enough to overcome Hunter, who actually pulled away in the final 2.5 laps and goes on to win it by 4 seconds. So a big win there from Hunter Lawrence. Third Moto win of the season for him. And we'll send it down to the podium. Jett Lawrence and Jason Thomas.
Hunter Lawrence, your first Moto winner. If you're looking for a way to claw back into this series, that's a good first step.
Yeah, you can't pull points back if you're getting beat. So we got a really good start, and it was a little slippery. More so than normal, they put some water down. But no, happy. Just looking forward to the second Moto now.
So I was wondering a little bit, like just past halfway, your lap time slipped to like mid 2:15s. That allowed Joe Shimoda and your brother to kind of, crawl back up to you. Was that something you were conscious of in Moto? What was happening there?
Yeah, I think it was just making a few little minor mistakes and just a few little things, and just tried cleaning them up, and then just really flowing for the last, maybe 10, 15 minutes, and try to do that speed a little easier.
Well, points leads down to 24, so tease them up for Moto 2.
Thanks, JT. And that is within one moto's reach of points. Get 25 for a race win. Jett there finishes second, Shimoda third. Justin Cooper overcomes Seth Hamaker late to take over fourth. Pierce Brown, I believe that's the season best, in sixth. And Josh Farisi, I think that's the season best for him in the AEO KTM, finishing up in the number 10 spot. Carson Mumford on the Suzuki 11th. Derek Kelly, solid 12th. Just outside points paying positions, Tommy Rios. And we'll give you the full field here. 40 riders competing today. All right, we'll go down to the podium, get the other side of the Lawrence brothers story. Here's
you're just eating roost the whole time, so I had to cop a lot of roosters to get around Joe, and then once we got on the second, it was 2 laps to go. I'm like, it took me all moto to get around Joe, so to try and get around Hunter in 2 laps, I think it's going to be a bit difficult. I'm like, you know what, he can have this one. I'll just try and just get these 2 breather laps, and then try and get the start the recovery for the next moto. Hopefully we can get a better start, and then go from there.
Well, a 2-1 still gets the overall, and most importantly, keeps the points the same.
And that will be the goal, JT, for Lawrence in Moto 2 to get that 2-1 overall victory. Let's show you how the race started. The motorsport.com whole shot replay ends up being Joe Shimoda getting it.
Yeah, got a great jump off the line. We talked about those starting blocks, something new for him from last weekend. 2 whole shots, 2 weekends in a row.
Yep, back to back for Joe. And that is huge on a track that at least Jett Lawrence thinks is difficult to pass on. And he would put the Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki on the podium. In third, where he has been pretty familiar with podium real estate as of late, the rider out of Japan. Send it back down to JT.
Joe Shimoda, what's the deal? Good starts, good finishes? It's really all coming together here for you midway point in the season.
Yeah, just trying my best every weekend, and yeah, this time I used the starting blocks, and I think I might figure it out. Who knows? But we got another moto to go. Race hard, and let's see what happens.
Well, he's missing his coach, Nick Wade, this weekend, but it doesn't seem like the results are affected as of yet.
That's right, Nick. His 2 sons are going to be racing the Monster Energy Amateur National at Loretta Lynn, so they're already down there setting up, but clearly whatever he's told him has worked. Joe has had another good moto there, working with Eddie, who works for Kawasaki after the podium. Hey, tonight, keep on watching here on MAV TV. We'll have the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series here on a Saturday night. Silver Dollar Nationals from I-80 Speedways. MAV TV Motorsports Network, slinging dirt afternoon through night. Good times here at Washougal. Just about 20 minutes outside of Portland, Oregon. Big crowd on hand. So motorsport.com upcoming schedule. We'll have 2 weekends off. The industry heads to Loretta Lynn for the big amateur national, and then a 4-race stretch run. Unadilla in New York, Budds Creek, Maryland, Ironman, Indiana, and Fox Raceway in California will be the final 4 rounds of the season. Probably get a lot of talent back in the series. A lot of riders coming back from injury at Unadilla. Like allegedly our defending 450 champ Dylan Ferrandis should be back. So definitely want to keep watching the shows here on MAV as we get ready to end this 2022 season. 4 races and 3 motos left. That Emmig's old bike? I see a 47 Cowie. Is he that old? Is he that old? I don't know.
That's a great Christmas tree.
Okay, maybe that's a Hamaker 47 Kawasaki. Yeah, let's put some lights on that thing.